Hello everyone, it's Anatika here, and I have a trio of cards to share with you today. I'm using a stamp from Prima marketing. It's a very old stamp. I'm not even sure if it's available anymore, but it is a Julie Nutting stamp, and she has many similar to those. So if you don't have this one, I'm sure some of you have something similar. I like the stamp because it is very large and you can basically colour quite a large area with it. So I am basically colouring 3 girls, and each of them has their own colour scheme, personality, and all different kinds of pattern papers that I'm working with. Basically showing that with one stamp you can use to create all kinds of cards just by giving it a personality and different kind of papers, flowers, and whatnot. I will have my Copic markers, or which markers I'm using, over on my blog if you're interested. I am no colorist. I am just a crafter that likes to color, so my technique is not earth-shattering in any way, shape or form. I'm just having fun, and I do like to use the files that you can get from Sandy Alnach. Some of those are free, some of these you pay for, and that really helps me with figuring out which colors blend best together and such and so forth. And like I say, I am no expert, and that is why my coloring part is not the main thing of this card really, because, well, I'm sure that you all know how to blend 3 colors, and like I say, I'm just coloring. I am no expert, far from it. I just like to add color to my creations. I am using purples for the top and for the bottom of a dress, and then, or the skirt really, and then the larger part of the skirt is blue. Now, as I mentioned, there is nothing earth-shattering or anything in this colouring bit. It's just me colouring and having fun. I did colour 3 girls, all in different colour schemes. I am not going to show you the colouring on each and every stamp because there's nothing new in the next one except for another colour. It's the same colouring really, so I won't bore you with that. But if you do not wish to look at the little bit of colouring that I have, you can skip to, I think, about minute 7 or 8, and then you should not have to watch me colour. But anyway, I'll leave you with that. If you want to have a look, to follow along with a little bit of colouring, and then I'll get back to you when you get started making the card base and stuff. So now that the colouring is almost done, I am just finishing up with her hair. And then I also wanted to add a bit of sparkliness to her outfit. So I used Nuvo drops in White Blizzard, I believe, and added that to her top, bottom of her dress, and to the bandana in her hair. And then for the card base, I just took a 8.5 by 11 cardstock. This is Nina Solar White 110, and scored it in half, and that is the perfect size. And then I used a Nuvo mirror sheet for the background, and I just cut it so it was about 1/8 or a quarter frame around it. You don't need to be precise here, really, just figure out what looks best and just stick to it. And then I'm just sticking it to the card base itself that I had already scored. And I really like the shine that this adds to the background. It's not overpowering, but it's still enough to get your attention, so to speak. And the pattern paper that I'm using behind her is a pattern paper from a kit I got from Hip Kit Club. They are not selling this individually, so I unfortunately can't link to that one, but I will link to something similar. And then I'm just inking the edges with Tim Holt's Dress Oxide ink, and I'm using the Scrapbook.com domed foam, and I really like that one. That gives you quite a lot of, I don't know, tooth. And my hat getting in the way. And then just stick to that to the sparkly paper, and that is cut 1/4 of an inch smaller. And then of course I want the stamp to be the focal point, so I am using foam tape, and this is a Scrapbook.com foam tape. This is the 1 inch width. You can of course use any foam tape or any width that you have on hand. I have several kinds of foam tapes. I do love foam tape, so well, I have quite a nice variety. And I also found leaf die in my set. It's an old one, and I die cut several leaves from the same Nuvo paper as I used for the background, and I want that to be behind the stamped image, kind of like peeking through in a way. And of course it adds a bit of shine, and I do love a good shine. So I'm just using the foam tape that is already on the stamped image itself, and I'm just using that to stick the leaves to the image. And that way I don't have to fiddle around, and I can just stick the whole thing to the card. And there she is, ready. And now all I need to do now is to add florals and other sparkly things that I like to add. And these flowers are from Prima Marketing, and I adore these blue ones, and I just wanted to have one large floral and several smaller ones. I just thought it looked nice, really. And I'm just trying to figure out where to put these. Then I do think, while I'm fiddling around with it, I noticed that I need something smaller as well. So I basically look into my stash, and I find these pretty paper florals that I will be adding in a wee bit. I'm using Scrap.com tape to stick the flowers down. And of course you can use any tape or liquid adhesive if you want to. I like this because you can just rip it and it holds very nicely. Sorry about my head getting in the way. And now that I've put this down, I will be grabbing those paper flowers that I mentioned before, because it needs a bit more. It's a bit too, I don't know, it just needs something. And these were nice, have a nice blue tint to the end of them, so they fit perfectly. I think I got these from I Am Roses. I'm not 100% sure, but you can get something similar there. And again, sorry about my head getting in the way. I just needed to see what I was doing. And I'm just using liquid adhesive to make sure that it gets stuck there. And since these are so tiny, liquid glue is actually quite handy to have. So now I'm adding jewels here and there. These are Pretty Pink Posh jewels, and these are in a yellow or soft yellow and a soft violet, and I'm just adding them here and there where I think they are needed, and I'm trying not to go overboard, because I do love all things sparkly, but sometimes I need to just calm down, woman. It doesn't need to sparkle that much, but I do like sparkly stuff, so I can't always control myself. And that basically finishes off the card. Like I mentioned, I created several of the cards, or 3 in total, and I did the same thing for all of them. I cut the shiny background, and then a pattern paper, and then added the leaves, and then florals, and then again some jewels. So it's basically the same thing, all same action through all the cards, but they do look different because they're different kind of color scheme, and I absolutely love how they turned out. And here we have all these cards and several close-up images, so you can have a better look. And as I mentioned before, I will have links to everything I used down below, and of course I will be adding the Copic markers on my blog if you are interested in the colors that I used. So thanks so much for watching. Bye.